Coveted class of 2024 guard Boogie Fland is set to take an official visit to Chapel Hill next weekend for live action with HD. Why on earth does everyone want this kid so bad? And can AJ Davis, who's from the same high school, help land his commitment?
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, it's Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Shade, and I want to thank you for making Locked On Tar Heels your first listen or your first watch every single day. Please don't forget that the show is free and available anywhere you get podcasts, so you can subscribe for free right now to make sure you don't miss a second of your team every day. It's great to be joined today by Jason Jordan, Sports Illustrated's Director of Basketball Recruiting. It's just been such an honor to get to have him on every week and to get great intel and inside information on all these recruits and things going on. And speaking of, we'd like to thank LinkedIn Jobs for being the official college recruiting sponsor across the Locked On College Network. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. Okay, Jason, so we are getting very close to late night happening all across the country here in just a couple weeks. And one of the players that will be in for North Carolina is class of 2024 guard Boogie Fland. What a stinking cool name. You love that. And love to talk about him here today.
Yeah, definitely. One of the best players in 2024. Obviously, most people know that. But I think most people don't know that he's potentially the best two-way point guard in that class. Meaning he's dominant on the defensive end, on the ball, dominant on the ball defender. And he's only getting better in that regard. And, obviously he's got all the tools on the offensive end. I'm sure most people know about that, but 3-level scorer, high IQ point guard. He's quick and fast, and most people don't realize the difference there. But it's important to point out that a quick and fast point guard is. I'll give you a great example. Kendall Marshall was fast. He wasn't all that quick, right? But he could play fast. But in the first 3 steps for a point guard, especially a point guard that plays like Boogie, are very important, and he's getting by his man in those first 3 steps, but then he can increase his speed after that. So that isn't something that you think that happens with every point. It's not true. Like it's some point guards have one or the other, but he's got both, and definitely that's I think one of the best parts of his offensive game, because it starts everything. Because after that, then he can use his high IQ. He's a brilliant playmaker, great size, 6'3", legit 6'3", maybe inching closer to 6'4". But a guy who had a very productive summer on the EYBL. So I think he averaged 17, 5, and 5 at PSA, which is very hard. He's won a gold medal. I mean, we could go on and on. He's an NIL pioneer in New York, So he's got all the, Louisville just offered him it's actually, we're filming this on Monday. Louisville offered him just now. And
literally, you got a text as we started.
Literally, right, in this very moment. Found out Louisville extended the offer, and I don't think that's it for him on big blue blood offers. So I think those will be coming down the pipeline in the next couple of weeks. But yeah. One of the best players in 2024, and it's very important. Obviously he has the RJ Davis connection. I'm sure we'll talk about that, but he's one of the ones that I think, he totally would thrive in you guys' system. So, I understand making him a priority in that class.
Yeah, absolutely. And several things to touch on there. As you said, there's a connection with RJ Davis. We'll get to that in a second, and how he would fit into this North Carolina system. Yeah. But first, I want to go back to something you said, just with that, the speed factor and being fast versus quick. And I think Kendall Marshall is such a great example of that, because when you think Kendall Marshall, you just kind of think, oh, he's this plodding guard, not quick. And really all he had was his vision. But just not true. And when talent evaluators such as yourself and coaches are looking at these young men, particularly guards, where speed is obviously it's important for every player on the floor, but particularly with guards, which is like, how do you rank the echelon of that? Is it more important to be quick, more important to be fast? Or obviously the combination is great, but if you can only have one or the other.
That's a great question. I would say quick, because, especially in the way that you all play, just moving the ball up the court, the pass can make up for your lack of speed.
Sure.
But if you're by your man with him on your hip, especially in the half court set, then the world opens up for you there. Right. Mm-hmm. So if you're a high IQ guy and you have a quick first step, you're going to thrive, especially in the half court, and where you can make up the lack of foot speed is, getting the ball ahead, which is, like I said, the way you guys like to play. So I would definitely lean toward quick if I had to pick one.
Okay. Interesting. Love that. Thank you, Jason. Good insight there. Now, you also said that Boogie would fit very well into North Carolina's system. What are 2 or 3 things that really stand out to you that make you think that truth?
Well, he plays fast, and he likes to get the ball out and push it up the floor. I mean, most guards do, but he's a guy who, right. But also most guards are ball dominant. Now he is too, but he's going to make the right play all the time. Not sometimes, all the time. I'll give you USA Basketball as a great example. I mean, when you join that team, you have to, we're all 5 stars, we're all elite. That's out. And that's the USA guys will tell you, the coaches and the administration there at USA. That's one of the things they preach at the camps is to you got to get rid of that elite mentality, and with no prima donnas here. So if I need you to dive on the loose ball, I need you to do that. If you score 30 a game, that's great. Everybody scores 30 a game. So if you can be a lockup defender, I need you to do that. So he really took on that. I mean, he only averaged like 4 points a game, but he was one of the best players on that team, one of the most impactful players on that team. And he's a key reason that they won the gold medal. So, and he's fine with that. Like he's a guy who's really wired like that. He plays for Munch at PSA. Most people know who Munch is in this world. So he's a guy who definitely preaches that as well. And so, Boogie's wired different than most 5 stars. Like he's not the guy that's like, I need 15 shots, I need 10 assists. It's just whatever, we got to win. But, a byproduct of that mentality is that he's going to be very productive as a passer. He's going to be very productive in the offense. He's going to be very productive as an on-ball defender. So, but I just think he thrives as a playmaker, and then the mentality tends to be infectious with him. So it, disperses toward the teammates. And I've seen that for years with him, for sure.
Man, that's good. And obviously that's the kind of person you love running a team. And
absolutely.
So with that, Jason, of that kind of teammate first mentality and getting the ball out, would you project him at the D1 level as more of a classic point guard, or more these guys we're seeing this day that's like, yeah, I'm a point guard, but I can drop 25 when I need to? Like, where does he fit into that?
Well, I think he wants to be a point guard. I think he likes the ball in his hands. I don't know that he's probably from the mold of, I think we'll do better with me with the ball,
Yeah.
But it's not because I'm gonna, what was the kid's name on Friday Night Lights? It was Booby, right? Give Booby the ball. So it's not, I thought I was about to say
Booby Miles. Booby Miles.
Right, my guy, Booby Miles. But it's kind of like that, but it's not because I'm going to score. It's because I'm going to make the right play. Like I'm going to do the extra pass. I'm open, but he's really open. I'm passing.
Yeah.
The guy's closing in, when we're rotating the ball on, he's going to make the extra pass to the really open guy. So he just fits that mold. Like he's a team first guy. The only thing he cares about is winning. And That's what you want from your lead guard. That's
Absolutely.
what you want from the extension of the coach on the floor.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, that is the only thing that matters, is the scoreboard at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Well, Jason had talked just a little bit ago about the connection between Boogie and AJ Davis. We're going to unpack that more in just a minute after I tell you about Upside. From cringing at the pump to getting an eye-popping check at your favorite restaurant, inflation is hitting us all where it hurts, and it really hurts. That's why I've started using Upside, which is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or dines out. With every purchase, I'm earning cash back thanks to Upside. I legitimately use this every time I go fill up with gas, and it saved me so much money this past summer with all the crazy gas prices. I promise you, it really does work, and it's super easy. So to get started, use the free Upside app and get my promo code LOCKED and get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. And then claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. Simply check in at the business, pay as usual with the credit or debit card, and then get paid right through the app. In comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs, you can earn 3 times more cash back with Upside. Upside users are earning more than $1 million every week. That's probably why they have a 4.8 star rating on the App Store. So download the free Upside app and use promo code LOCK to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Again, that's $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more using promo code LOCKED. Boy, Jason, for real, if you don't use this thing, you need to. It's so cool. And I get all this money off my gas. It's great.
I do use Upside. Great.
Okay,
Great
folks.
Great ad.
Jason Jordan using it himself. Love that. So when you look up Boogie Fland's profile, you start to notice some geographic things that stand out. And it's like, why have I heard this before? He's from White Plains, New York. He's from Archbishop Stepinac High School. If it sounds familiar, it absolutely should, because it's the home of AJ Davis. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. AJ Griffin as well from Duke last year, who lit up Carolina in a game and then got shut down by Leaky in a couple other games. So, man, Archbishop, they have this pipeline going on down to the North Carolina area. What is helpful in having a player already from this high school and the possibility of recruiting a teammate of his?
Yeah, well, familiarity, you know what I'm saying? Definitely that would be the key thing there. And then not just that, it's, hey, we kind of play the same position. There's an easier sell there. We kind of play the same position. And I'm telling you, man, this offense, you're my guy, right? We know each other, we're same school. There's the connection there, but it's bigger when you play the same position and you can speak, because you can speak authoritatively there and say, yo, man, I'm gonna give you the real. And, it's going to be, I'm sure he would give him some, good, and I'm sure, I can't imagine what would be bad. I mean, he's thriving there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm sure he would give him some things to think about, but I'm imagining 99% of it is going to be glowing. I know he has RJ has a great relationship with Hubert Davis. So, that's a great sell. So case in point, if let's say Duke offers Boogie, right?
Yeah.
And same thing.
And they haven't yet, right? Is
and
that
they
correct?
haven't yet. No.
Yeah. Kansas, Kentucky, a whole host of people, but
Duke hasn't yet. So if AJ, did I say that right? AJ?
Yeah.
So if AJ's like, yeah, come on, man, they're going on this visit. I'm in town. I'm in the NBA, but I'm in town for this visit. You're coming on. And it's like, yeah, man, Duke's great. But it's like, but you don't play my position though. You know what I'm saying? Like sure. you don't know my plight. So then he goes to the late night event. RJ plays this position. He can give him the gritty, real, raw of that. And it's the most important position on the court. And so I think that does matter. Like those are usually I'm the guy that's like, man, that stuff don't matter, man. Them kids don't be thinking about that. Nah, I think they think about that. This is one of those ones where that's not extra to say that. Because I think it really resonates. So to have that familiarity with being teammates, and then the next tier of playing the same position and saying, oh man, you can do this in the offense. I'm telling you, when you see things, you can abort the plan, and he lets you do this and play up your instincts and stuff like that. So Yeah, that's a big one for you guys, I would say.
Okay, so folks, keep just watch RJ and Boogie interacting next Friday at late night, which Jason just touched on, and that's a question I want to get to as well. And since you went there, let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Is how important is it for programs to get players in for late night? So for North Carolina, we know Zayden High is going to be at late night on an official. We know now that Boogie Fland is going to be there. What is that environment like?
Yeah, well, especially for you guys, because most people are picking you guys to definitely be at the Final Four game, not buying tickets, and potentially to win it all. So obviously the hype for you guys is through the roof to start off the season. So, and people want to be associated with the big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a fact. Everybody was excited about Carolina's run. They were super exciting team last year. Y'all have exciting players. You have, I like to call them high personality guys. This is a marketing dream, right?
Yeah.
Mondo is Mondo, right? Everybody loves him. Caleb, everybody loves Caleb and his cockiness on the court, which I think is a great thing. That ain't negative. I think
absolutely.
I love it. Be clear. And then you got the top transfer. Y'all have an amazing team, no doubt about it. And people want to be like, yo, I was at Carolina this weekend, Franklin Street,
Yeah.
And I was at the event for the favorite team, because you guys are going to be on ESPN twice a week, and not that you aren't anyway, but I mean, right. They'll be, this
even
is
more
year.
so. Yeah.
This is a marketing dream of a time, especially in the preseason. When not as much is going on, and then it's like, I think you guys are going to add names to that Midnight Madness list over the next week, right? Because people want to see what's up. People, like we talked about with, obviously your I hate to keep talking about
it's fine.
Your counterparts over there,
yeah.
But they're having a good run recruiting wise. But I think you guys potentially could have this is the time to capitalize on all that marketing. And so Hubert Davis is very seasoned in this regard, and I'm sure he's going to do everything he can to capitalize. But I think it's a real opportunity to sell guys and to sell what you guys are pitching, right? Because your fan base is one of the greatest fan bases in the country. And really all you have to do is get them in the house. That's it. And that would be my selling. Just come. Just come. I promise.
And you'll see. Yep. And you've got people doing that and come, and not even who you expect might commit or do something, and then all of a sudden they turn around and do it. Now, recently Carolina lost one of those players after his freshman year to Auburn, and sometimes that happens, but it is what it is. Now, one of the things Boogie has said about his recruitment is that he would like to take it slow.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be a good thing, like if you're behind and that gives you a chance to catch up. Yeah. Sometimes it can be a bad thing. It's like when you're the front runner, the front dog, and it's like, hey, let's not take it slow. Let's go ahead and get it. Yeah. As you look at Boogie Fland's recruitment, any ideas, Jason, on how you see this playing out time-wise or a commitment timeline?
Yeah. So I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago about this specific thing. And I do think he's going to take his time. I don't see it ending. I'm thinking he's going to be, I potentially think he could be a spring guy.
Okay.
Because I know that he's going to take his visits. But I mean, we have a lot of time, so I would say right now, I would say spring guy, but let me see where he's at after a couple visits. And then I think he hasn't gotten all his offers. So, right. And I know that he wants, first right of refusal, so he wants to be able to pick from everybody. I don't think he's leaning anywhere. I don't think there's anything going on with that, but, and I talked to him, I said, well, are you worried about the transfer portal? You being a 24 guy. And he was like, nah, not really, because at the end of the day, I'm just wired. Like he's never been, this is what he said, never been given anything. Like, so if I have to come, I'm not afraid to come and earn playing time, even as I don't have an ego like that. This is what he says. So, if I got to come in there and fight a transfer, but I assume I'm going to a school that has a really good chance at winning. So I'm sure I'm going to have to compete. So that's not going to move me one way or the other. So I do think he's going to let it play out. I'll say that you guys have a really, really strong opportunity to leave a lasting impression. And I'm confident that you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just another feather in his cap of why you want him on your team. A guy that is team first, that's all about the W. And that's like, I'm not owed anything. I want to come in, pave my own way, and show why I'm one of the top ranked players in this class. And just again and again showing why Hubert Davis wants somebody like that. Speaking of Hubert Davis, one of the things that's interesting to me, Jason, I want to get a little bit historical here. Carolina has this long-standing New York, New Jersey tradition going all the way back to Lenny Rosenbluth, one of the great scorers in North Carolina history, the cornerstone of the 1957 undefeated North Carolina champions. And then all through Coach McGuire was a New York guy, bringing in everybody who was there before Coach Smith. And then you start to see some of this connection again. Cole Anthony recently, AJ Davis, who we've talked about, Simeon Wilcher's from New Jersey. You get all these guys, and then you start to also think about Hubert Davis, played for the Knicks, talks so often about how much he loved his time there, wished he could have essentially played his whole career there. Has said he'd like to get North Carolina playing at MSG every year. Carolina will be there this season for the CBS Classic against Ohio State. I believe they're scheduled to play there again for another one-off experience in the 23-24 season. And so I know it's not geographically right there, but is this an important thing that Carolina could have a New York City resurgence?
Yeah. I mean, I think, sure that I think that stuff comes in waves too. Like, I think, I know that he has strong ties there. I mean, I think Massaroni at Stepinac, I mean, I know they have great relationships, but he has great relationships, if I'm being fair. He has great relationships with a lot of blue blood. I mean, Stepinac gets some, we've listed 3 McDonald's All-Americans, and they'll continue to get the best players in New York State. Pat does a great job there. But there are definitely connections there. I know PSA Cardinals, they once again, but they have to have connections with. I can't say there's a pipeline because we just named 2 players that are on opposite end, polar opposite ends, that went to different schools. So it's and they both played for PSA as well, and they both played for Stepinac. And they both hated each other during the season. So I mean, everybody wants a pipeline in New York. I'll say that. And the reality is you do have great connections there, not just with Huber, but Sean May has great connections in New York. I think
Jeff Lebo's been up there for Boogie.
Great connection
with Coach Davis. Yeah.
So I think like it's like I mean, well, Carolina, at the end of the day, you're North Carolina. Let's just call that what it is.
Yeah.
And you're always going to have connect. Now, they're going to be stronger, your alumni base is big up there as well. So I think those, but does it play a part with players? And it's all about relationships, and you have them. So yeah, for sure. But I wouldn't say like, I've always stopped short of saying like this is a trend. You know what I'm saying? Like, when
absolutely.
people ask me stuff like that, because I know that coaches tell me like they throw around the best, like, this is my guy title. That's my guy. But then I hear them say it about 10 more guys in the same at the same tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, oh, no, this is really my boy. He was your guy too. But no, this is really my guy. And the next day, no, this is really my guy. So I think as long as you have the relationships, and you do, and they're firm and strong, I think you're going to be good, especially in that region. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you for that feedback.
Yeah.
Jason, speaking of relationships, I think people often wonder, like, how do coaches go about that? How often are they contacting, things like that? And so a quote from Boogie Fland that stood out to me, I believe this was in Adam Zagoria's write-up of Boogie Fland's visit to North Carolina. He said, quote, "Coach Davis calls me every day. He does his share just like everybody else in the NCAA that offered me." And I think that can be enlightening to fans out there wondering, like, what all is it that a coach has to do to build these relationships you're talking about? And you read that and people think, wait, is that hyperbole or is he being serious? Hubert Davis is calling this young man every day, and he does his share just like all these coaches. So for these young men, are they really fielding calls every day and text messages from these head coaches and assistant coaches that have offered them and are still trying to recruit them?
100%. Yeah. Now you got to feel the kid out, because I'll give you a great example. So John Calipari is not that guy. Like he tells kids all the time, "I ain't gonna be calling you every day. Like, you know, I'm a grown man. I'm not gonna call you every day. You know, like maybe somebody will, but it ain't gonna be me every day. You know." And then you have kids like, I'll never forget, it's a throwback name, but y'all were on this kid, Shabazz Muhammad.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's old school there, but he was the #1 player in the class. I think it was, I'm about to mess up. Oof. Was it 2012?
I'll look. You keep talking. I'll look it up.
I think he was back then, but Shabazz used to tell me all the time, look, I tell the coaches all the time, no, don't be calling me every day now. You know, like, I got to work. You don't have to call me every day. Please don't. And so I know kids that say, RJ Barrett used to say that as well.
Interesting.
So you have to really feel out the kid and what kind of personality they are. And I think as long as the kid does not say that, then most coaches are going to make a text or a call every day. So you're going to have to back a coach off if you don't want that. But Boogie's open to that. So I think there's contact made every day. Now, he said call. So knowing Hubert Davis, I believe that he probably does call him every day, even if it's just for a brief chat. So, man, yeah, it's a lot. And this is what I'm saying. Like when I talk to kids all the time, I'm like, you know, how big of a relief is it that it's over? Oh my God, it's really like I get headaches and then it's like draining to talk, because I'm even like, I don't want to talk. I don't like to talk on the phone all the time, because I talk all the time for work.
Sure.
But kids are like, I don't want to talk about, and then you're going to say the same thing the coach said. It's a lot of that, you know, it's a dream come true, but it's also a lot. And then you got to talk to a guy. There's so many variables that go into this stuff. Like then you might have to talk to a coach that, you know, you're not going to the school, but you got them on your top 8. And maybe that's for a reason. I don't know. But you got to talk to them and you got to hear them out and, you know, that kind of thing to kind of play the game.
Sure. And be kind and Yeah. That's cool. Muhammad was class of 2012, by the way.
Yes, I got that right. Good.
Yeah, so way to go. Nice job. But yeah, it's just so interesting. I think people are always wondering about those inner workings, and it's just so interesting when you get a little peek behind the curtain to see like just what is it these coaches are having to do, as well as the recruits themselves and their families and all of that. I'm with you, man. I'd be like, listen, we're good. You don't have to call me every day. Like that's probably a relief to the coaches in some ways. Like, good. Thank you. Like
it is, but then they worry. And
like who's on him?
Somebody, it's almost like the girl that you like. And she's like, dude, you know, let's just take a little break. I'll call you. Don't call me. It's you, not me. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, she's talking to me. That kind of thing.
Gosh, it's a crazy world, the world of recruiting, but Jason Jordan lives in it, and that's why he's here to help us figure it all out. Jason Jordan, thank you so much, as always, for joining us.
Thank you. Look forward to the next one.
So we'll keep tabs on Boogie Fland and all these other class of 2024 recruits and what they do. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's been great to be together. You can follow the show on Twitter at Locked On Heels. You can follow Jason at Jason Jordan SI, and you can follow me at Isaac Shade. You can get more on the ACC by making Locked On ACC your second listen of the day. Host Candace Cooper and the local experts of Locked On take you around the conference in 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. Can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Pat Kilby will be here with me as he always is. But until then, I want to remind you that it is always a great day to be a Tar Heel. Until tomorrow, peace.